show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is May 31st, 2009.
Welcome one, welcome all to World of the Unexplained, where the unexplained, well, it stays unexplained a lot of times. This is Jay Scott, and tonight I've got with us, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, this is Chuck Browder, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Back from tour.
Yeah, back from Ireland,
Yeah.
Ireland. How was that?
Oh, it was a hell of a time, man.
I bet it was,
Yeah,
man.
I generally don't I generally do get bored with places within a period of 72 hours. But I don't know if it was being on tour and being in all sorts of different cities or what it was. But I didn't get bored the entire time.
Now, how many shows did you play out there?
About half a dozen.
Okay.
Over a period, and it was all messed up. We had to push dates back and stuff, which is real pleasant because, well, I don't know. Hell, I'll call them out right now. Delta Airlines really gave us a shaft, and by the time they finally arranged for us a flight to go down to Atlanta and put us up in a hotel overnight till we could catch another international flight over the next day, I wasn't even sure they were going to let me on the plane because I had had so much to drink.
Oh my gosh! now, is Delta the one that took away the snacks?
No, I don't think they took because well, at least because I was on an international flight, it seemed like it was fairly decked out.
Well, I mean, on your way down, you flew Delta too, though, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there were commuting flights and stuff here stateside. One of them was a Com Air jet, which was pleasant. I've never flown on anything that small before.
Have propellers still?
It didn't have propellers, but it only seated about 50 people.
Now,
and the captain sounded like he was like 22 years old.
Trent and I flew on one with propellers back from like somewhere out west when we went to Germany when we come back to Charlotte years ago.
I don't think I've ever flown on a puddle jumper or a Cessna or anything. Well, Cessna I think is a jet airplane, but.
Well, cool. So
nothing that dangerous.
No. In Ireland, I mean, does it just like is on TV? I mean, the rolling fields of green and the.
Once you get into the country, for sure. I will have to say though, if you go to Ireland, definitely try and get outside of Dublin because it didn't seem like there was a whole hell of a lot of nightlife there.
Not a friendly place.
And they were no, that's exactly right. I went into one of these sort of like microbrews over there. And I was expecting more. It ended up being just like any microbrew you go into here in the States.
Except everybody had an accent.
Well, and there was kind of an incident. One of the girls that was on in the choir on tour with us bumped into this guy, and he didn't apologize. He didn't offer to buy another beer or anything. And I told the guy at the time, that was almost trouble there, buddy.
You're gonna pick a fight in an Irish pub. You better come packing there, Chuck.
But I guess unbeknownst to me, he was pretty hot, man. I guess he was ready.
He's ready to take you to the mat, man. Yeah. He figures he can beat you up. You got red hair and a red beard. Yeah, you're coming home.
Apparently, there's also a dead martyred folk singer that's over there that I resemble somewhat called who was named Bobby Sands.
Huh. I'm finding out all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. And I have to say, outside of Dublin, most of these
these
cities, Kerry and Waterford,
he's alive.
have a hell of a nightlife. I on my birthday, man. I guess it was the morning of because we were out that late.
Oh yeah, happy belated birthday!
Well,
Chuck.
thank you, man.
How old are you?
I'm
now?
32 years
oh,
old
man.
now.
Wow, old guy. Go ahead.
But on the way to going to a black metal show. Like that real hardcore Scandinavian burn the churches down stuff.
That's awful.
We met some other people coming back from a gay 80s club, and I'd been mentioning earlier that day that, well,
when you say gay, you mean homosexual?
Yes, that's exactly right. I've been mentioning earlier in the day that, the one thing I want to find for my birthday is one of these clubs somewhere here that, is playing 80s music, and it just happened to be a gay 80s bar. I got in there and I had a beer, and within 2 minutes, one of my friends there was was tapping me on the shoulder. And I look back, and there's this 50-some-odd-year-old guy with a hoop in his ear grinded up on me.
Oh!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday from Ireland, Chuck.
But no, it was a good time. Good time. And each night, I just managed to one-up myself night after night, man.
That's good, man. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. And performing, partying at night. That's the way rock stars should live.
No. Who did y'all perform for?
A whole number of people. Actually, I got to play St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's
pretty cool.
pretty special. Yeah, I've never even set foot in anywhere that old, much less performed anywhere.
So you get to play in a cathedral named after a guy that went over there and killed a bunch of heretics. It's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot.
Actually, while we were in there, I should have remembered a friend of mine whose fiance is from Ireland had warned me about St. Patrick's Cathedral and pickpockets. And while we were in there, some people were changing out and getting gear and stuff together. This black woman that was in the choir nearly, I think, threw her shoe at this guy who was going through her purse.
Oh,
and when
gosh.
when she asked him, "Why are you going through my purse?" He simply said, "Well, I didn't know it was yours."
No. Oh, sorry. Caught red-handed.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. We were scoping for him for a little while after it too. He hightailed it out of there. He was not in the building.
That's awful.
Really didn't want to beat down and a Catholic church.
I don't know what Dublin's theft laws are like there. I'm assuming probably pretty strict if they're in line.
Well, I imagine whatever goes as far as the victim getting back at the perp too.
That's awful, man. So that's good, man. I'm glad you had a good stay. Were you over there about a week?
Yeah, about a week or so. Like I said, I can't even keep track of it because there was the day, the delay, and then there's also the whole jet lag and all that.
Didn't even take your wife.
No.
What a jerk. She just stayed here in Mary, North Carolina while you just flew around in Ireland and played guitar and got drunk in gay 80s bars.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's the life, man. I also got to kiss the Blarney Stone, man. So I should be
I've
twice
seen
as good
that,
at this as I ever was.
You know how many people put their lips on that thing every year?
I joked about it. In fact, I joked about it on the way there and the way out, or on the way out that, I probably caught something. Mr. Browder, I'm sorry to inform you, you have 7 different types of gonorrhea that we've never even seen before.
Oh, you went down to the
herpes.
Blarney Stone, didn't you?
But
man.
I the whole, what the deal is with the Blarney Stone too, right? Is that all the foreigners kiss it because they don't have something that the Irish who were born there already have, which is the gift of gab.
Yeah.
So you have these 2 jokers up there on the top of this castle, wearing rain slickers, and they're like, "Yeah, move them in, move them out. You kissed it, woo." And you got to get in this stupid position in order to do it upside down, and they take your picture and duplicate. Of course, like a sucker, I bought mine for €10.
Oh my gosh! What is that? Equate to $20 US
well,
now?
There's
or
no
something?
photography around there, and I managed to sneak 1 or 2, from a distance. But you really can't get up on it, and they have signs posted all over the place. Yeah,
No photos.
no photos.
So do they have it in Arabic too? There, I mean. Sorry, it's part of Europe.
There were a number
Muslim
of foreign
sympathizers.
nationals. Foreign nationals. I don't believe that's a proper nomenclature, J. Scott. Foreign nationals over there, and I have to say, some of the best food I had while I was over in Ireland was Middle Eastern food.
Of course it was, man. They're breaking you in. It's part
It
of the
reminded me
process.
actually of some of the stuff I love back here. I think that's what it was, because I even went to Subway over there, and even that wasn't right, man.
Really, the Subway was different.
Yeah, I think there was hops or head cheese or something in the whole mixture. The meat was different. There were a whole lot of different things about it, and I think part of it is their laws are pretty strict as far as organic meats. All of it's certified by, like it is here, I guess, by the federal government. But I do think they might have stricter guidelines there.
Huh. Chucking a Subway, Ireland.
Well, after so many, mutton stews and Guinness stews. And
Guinness stews. And so many Guinnesses. How did you find the Guinness to be on tap there? Was it warm?
I probably had about half a dozen while I was there. Where we toured the Guinness. Yeah.
Oh, I'm envious.
Yeah, the plant over there. And it turns out that Budweiser is also brewed in the same plant over there.
Oh, that's terrible.
And, well, the Budweiser I had while I was overseas.
Tastes good?
It was awesome.
Huh.
And I ended up drinking a lot of Carlsberg, which it turns out I think is it's a Dutch beer.
It's probably still better over there.
But all that stuff was awesome, and I was constantly trying to get people in on doing what I think is a Boilermaker. Purdue, I think, is the college here in the States who are the Boilermakers. If I'm wrong, give us a call 877-722-7382.
It's 877 scare you too. Anyway,
but it consists of basically I think a lager and a shot of Irish whiskey, preferably Jameson's. And you dump the shot, the whole damn shot, into the drink, and you chug the drink, and it's beautiful. In fact, we may have to go out to the whatever bar is closest here down the street and have ourselves some here after the show.
Right now,
yeah. Well, here maybe on the upcoming break at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah,
you think we get back there in about 5 minutes?
I don't think so. No, I don't think we're close enough to anything that serves alcohol. We're in Kernersville, man. You know what I mean? There's just not. There's a couple bars here actually. There's like
the street lights come on at 5 p.m.
There's like three bars though.
Traffic lights start blinking at 8.
Time to shut down.
Well, I used to live in a small town right outside Washington D.C. and not but maybe 30 miles out. And it had absolutely no nightlife. Weekdays during the summer, it was exactly like that. 8 p.m. on a weekday, traffic lights blinking. Yield oncoming traffic.
That's it.
That's how it is over there. Did you notice that around between 6 and 7 p.m., basically everything was closed except for
6
bars?
and 7, we're over in Ireland. Well, the shops do seem to close early. And the other thing, too, is since it's so far north this time of year, the days were extremely long. I mean, it would become light maybe at about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, you're kidding
Stay
me.
light out till 9:30.
How horrible.
Well, and then I imagine it's the the flip side of the coin in the winter that you probably don't have a whole lot of daylight.
Oh man,
3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's getting dark.
Is it really? 3 in the afternoon, it's getting dark. That's great.
Well, and the whole driving on the left side of the road makes it difficult to cross the streets. I ended up looking right entirely too many times, and I think I probably nearly got hit once or twice.
Well,
with all that, that pub in,
you would have been fine.
Crossing roads.
You've got universal health care there, man. You'd have been all right.
Well, another thing I found out over there is artists don't pay taxes.
Artists do not pay taxes.
No. Apparently that's the place for me to be.
It must be. You get free health care. You don't have to pay taxes.
That's what I'm talking about. It's extremely hard, though, to immigrate to a lot of the Western European socialist countries for that matter, because they don't want people sponging off.
No, I can understand that.
You're deporting back.
I'm deporting.
You're coming back, man. Look at me. I'm Irish. Can't you tell?
I'm expatriating my country of ethnic origin.
Yeah. They'll take you in. They're all PC. They're all PC. They'll take you back. He looks like that dead artist we used to have. Yeah.
Well, funny thing was, it was probably not even 6 hours after getting off the plane. We were hanging out in downtown Dublin, and I split up from some friends of mine, and I met back up with them after getting a few drinks. And they claimed, they were like, oh, yeah, we saw a guy that looked exactly like. I was like, yeah, right. They're all these guys have red hair. And you just saw a guy with red hair and a beard.
That would be me. Chuck.
And they were like, no, we got a picture. Let me show you. And I joke you not. In the picture, it was definitely me with maybe slightly longer hair before I had it cut before I went over there. Slightly longer, shaggier beard, just as if it had been right before I'd gone over there. And he was wearing one of those, golfer old man caps, the wool ones. Yeah. And a Baja.
And a what?
And a Baja.
What's a Baja?
What were those? Those Mexican sort of pullovers with the pockets in the front and the hood. No, you don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. That's okay though. So you found someone that resembled you a lot.
I didn't find them. They took a picture of this guy. But yeah, he was honestly the spitting image. In fact, they claimed they were like, oh yeah, we almost came up to, and like I said before I saw the picture, I was like, yeah, right. Everyone says that to me. You remember the guy that was a couple years younger than me that had the same birthday in college that had red hair and wore glasses?
He did look like you from the back. Not from the front, but from the back. He
Well,
did
you
look
weren't
like
the only one to mistake it too, because I know there were other times where people were possibly looking for him, calling me John. So.
Yeah, but you'd yell at him, Chuck, and he wouldn't turn around. And you're like, dude, what the? Get up on him and like, oh, I'm sorry. It was.
He did have dreadlocks though.
Yeah, well, it was rough, man. In college, longer the days gone, but yeah, good stuff. But it's good to have you back. Trent can't be here tonight, so I'm glad that you can come in and sit in the old hot seat with me
and throw down.
That's right. There's been so much going on politically too. It's been it's been
been a lot to keep up with. I know that there was this recent nominee by Barack Obama to fill Souter's position.
Yeah, Sotomayor.
Sotomayor. And
or whatever
I know it does seem like she's fairly qualified. It actually seems like she's kind of a centrist too. It still kind of bothers me that it seems like he's putting an identity politician into a position that was formerly occupied by actually a justice I hold in pretty high regard. He was appointed by Bush, and he's really made a lot of his judgments as a centrist on the Supreme Court. And
I think she's going to get a free pass.
Give him props. Oh, it seems. I mean, with the state of the Senate and the House right now, it would be pretty hard for the Republicans to block her.
Yeah. And I mean, even with the racial comments that she made about being a Latino woman and
I mean, I have absolutely no problem with that. I have no problem with her credentials. It just seems as if the reason why Obama picked her is really about the same reason, or the reason why he won the election. It's identity politics, and him and Rahm Emanuel and that administration seem to play that game pretty well. Another thing that's been bothering me about the I guess Obama administration is. It seems to be more of the same with George Bush. They're just calling a lot of stuff different names. It's just new euphemisms they're busting out, and increasing the syllables as if it's Ivy League intellectualism that's being introduced into it.
Well, it's not the war on terror anymore. We're supposed to call it something else now.
Well, the war on drugs is apparently back in action. I heard his attorney general first interview out basically saying that it's back on. It's not a secondary issue anymore. I find it to be hypocritical. At the same time, when he advocated, and signed into law the federal tax on cigarettes. He's dabbled in narcotics. He's also a reform smoker, and he's just a hypocrite for having cracking down on both.
War on drugs. I know I used to use some cocaine, Barack Obama says, but hey, now it's different. I'm the president.
How do you guys feel about their new taxing of, or planning on taxing of alcohol?
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a hike on
I didn't know there was going to be a hike on alcohol.
I know is it a federal one?
There's a state law.
Well, there was also a recent state hike here in North Carolina. Is it Bev Perdue that's our new
yeah. She's
here?
responsible for that.
Well, and I don't know why she would do that. She owns a number of gas stations. Remember, she got slimed in the primary
because of the Confederate
for having
stuff
gas stations that had a Confederate flag for sale in it. And I ask you this, you'd be hard pressed to find a gas station here in the Southeast that doesn't sell those things.
Yeah. But I just I didn't know anything about a federal liquor tax hike. I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about that.
No, it would probably be more of the same. He's probably giving up drinking here in the next couple months.
Yep. First the cigarettes, now the booze. I don't know the state of affairs though with General Motors. I guess we should call them government motors now.
Well, it's not the production of the cars. It's the financing end of it that's in real trouble. From what I heard I guess over the weekend here, it appears that this upcoming week, GMAC, the financing end of General Motors, may be declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, well, that's great, isn't it?
Well, that's all your TARP money at work right there, to float failing businesses for just a few extra months.
and I hate the fact that a lot of this goes back, a lot of the blame they want to still place with the Bush administration when they're the ones that have been in power now.
To be fair, the Bush administration did pass the first TARP package, and a lot of the initial damage and a lot of the misspending did occur under his watch. Granted, pretty late in his presidency.
Sure,
but the two of them together, just a financial cornucopia of wrongness.
Well, the problem I have with all these all these bailouts and all the money that's going there is you're looking at a president who has managed to in less than 100 days or a little over 100 days has managed to double if you look back over time the national debt in a few hundred in less than 200 days he's managed to double that the national debt that we've had for the last 200 and some years.
Well, I think my biggest problem is that he doesn't want to give up on the nationalized health care. He doesn't want to give up on a lot of the other entitlements. And
but you got to
still
spend
wants
money
to
to do that.
spend the money to alleviate the problems on Wall Street, for the problems with all the lenders.
But it's got to stop somewhere. This is insane.
Well, he claims it's going to be done by pulling out of Iraq. Well, Iraq costs a lot of money, but not that kind of money, and it's incremental too. I mean, we spend probably on average about $9 billion a week. I mean, that's a large number.
Yeah.
But that's over a period of a time that this TAR package was just like, yeah, let's throw down $1 trillion.
I think we should tax the ultra wealthy.
What ultra wealthy?
And actors, musicians.
Well, those aren't the ultra wealthy people, Jay Scott. It's,
but
your
they're
free enterprise guys that have their golden parachutes that are getting TAR package
No,
bailouts.
I understand it, but I think we should tax the musicians and the actors and people like that more than the average person. I mean, here's the way I look at it.
Yeah, well, they are
sure.
with a progressive tax system are already being.
Oh, I know they are. We need to beat them over the head more, though. And here's why, because as our socialist friend the other day or the other week on our other show told us, that they can afford it, so, they should pay more. I mean, think about it. I don't have a beach house in Tahiti or in, Maui or any place like that. Shouldn't I have one too?
Well,
I mean, that's the socialist idea.
The problem with that idea, though, Jay Scott, is that if you do that, these people will just simply create more tax shelters, open up more offshore accounts, and find more loopholes because they're the ones who can afford to do it. And meanwhile, you're really going to be screwing over the guy at the upper end of the middle class.
No, I just think that we should punish them. They're the ones that wanted him so bad in there. Let's let them, take their money where their mouth is.
It's never the people with the means that are punished, though. It's always the the people who have actually worked for a living and invested that end up getting screwed by mandates like that.
I agree. It's terrible. But, there's just got to be some kind of end in sight to this just atrocious spending and wanting to spend more, and this idea that, everyone's entitled to something.
Well, and I think the infrastructure and education probably do need much more work, especially after the Bush years. Not only after the Bush years, but after probably the last 20 or 30 years.
Well,
but yeah, I guess we're up against a hard break, aren't we?
We are. And you're listening to World of the Unexplained. We usually talk about paranormal things, and we might when we come back. I don't know. We're just having one of those crazy nights. Give us a call here, 877-722-7382. That's toll free, 1-877-722-7382. You're listening to World of the Unexplained on KFNX News Talk 1100 AM. We'll be back in just a moment after these messages.
Good evening, and you're listening to World of the Unexplained. I'm Chuck Browder, and my
I'm
good
Jay
buddy
Scott.
here. Yeah,
and we shortcut it for Wotu. Oh, apparently we got a voicemail when we were gone, and another email. Any chance of having Bill Sneblin back on your show? Also, any idea when the new archives will be up? Peter from Australia writes.
Poor
Peter. It's going to be. I don't even know when the new archives are going to be up. We're so slack. That's generally the problem here at this show. We're all slack because we're all busy.
Well, it's also summer in the northern hemisphere, so
yeah,
that probably plays into it.
Oh, we got somebody on the line. Who we got?
Richard from Phoenix, Arizona.
Richard from
sweet.
Phoenix. Hey, Rich, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, how you doing? How's things out there on the East Coast?
It's warm, very warm. I played golf on Saturday, and let me tell you, man, after 18 holes, I just, it was exhausting.
Where are you guys located?
We're in a small bedroom community called Kernersville. It's in between Winston-Salem and Greensboro in the Triad.
Oh, okay. You're up north. Well, I lived back there when I was in the Marines, so.
Oh, okay, cool.
In Jacksonville.
Well, thank you for your service, sir. We appreciate it.
Well, I did it because I wanted to, but at that time I thought I was doing something for my nation. My nation going down the tubes.
It is. It really is going down the tubes. What do you think of the Obama administration?
It's a catastrophe. If that's what I fought for 30 years against communism, and that's exactly what this is, I wonder. At my age of 74, all I think about is my kids and two grandkids that aren't even born yet. In October 1st, twins, and what a hell of a future.
Yeah, I agree. You heard about Barack Obama at one time. He was talking about, hey, the VA hospital, this and that and the other. And, let's take these soldiers that have been wounded after they get out and, let's take them off of the government dole for health care and make them get their own private health insurance.
Yeah, I know.
Now, he wanted to do that for private health care, but then he wants to give it free and give it away to these illegal immigrants that come up through our unprotected borders. What gives with that? Guys like you.
I'm wondering what he's going to do with Social Security and military retirement. That's on my mind. The government got me going two ways, including probably thousands of other guys that are retired from the military. Not that we're making a hell of a lot of money from it for what we did. But,
I agree, and once again, I salute you for your service, sir. I mean, it takes brave men to go out there and do what needs to be done in a time of a need for the country. And everything that you fight for now, it seems like they want to take away from you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I firmly believe he wants two classes, maybe rich, and whatever you want to call it, poor or middle class.
Government dependent. That's what he wants. He wants everyone relying on the government for their every need. This is not what the founders of the Constitution wanted 200 years ago when they set this great place up.
Certainly the emergence of a middle class too is one of the driving forces behind any democracy. So I had thought that was a sneaking suspicion with the Bush administration that they were covertly reclassifying jobs, flipping hamburgers as manufacturing so they could shave the bottom portion off the middle class, and I don't know, maybe subvert democracy or even create a larger volunteer military.
Yeah, you see, we never know when we're better off with Bush. Even he he had his bad points, but he had good points. And we got nothing but bad points with this clown that's at the helm right now, and the ship is slowly sliding down in 130 days, but who's counting?
Well, the both of them with these government bailouts, these TARP packages, really, I think, really shot us in the foot, because I've spoken to a number of economists now, and it does seem as if we had just left it alone. This probably would have worked itself out in a year or two, and we're probably staring down the barrel of a 10-year, I don't want to say recession, but this is just the beginning of it. The credit crunch is coming next. All these people that have leveraged themselves with 29.9% credit cards are definitely going to be in for a rude awakening here in the next 6 months.
Well, I don't even know. I guess inflation must be here, because I went out to the supermarket yesterday to get a bottle of whatever, and whatever was the same price between Coke and Pepsi at $1.89.
Oh, and have you noticed an increase in
something that was about $1.25, $1.20 if you had a sale on? So I don't know if they already instilled that tax out here.
Well, what about soda? I mean, not soda, gasoline out there. Is it still creeping up like it is on the East Coast here?
Yeah, about $2.35 a gallon here.
That's about what it is here.
Regular.
Yeah, and that was what was it, $1.97 about 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, right.
Give me a break, Richard. Thank you for your call.
Okay, take care, guys.
Thank you for your service. And that was Richard from Phoenix. If you want to be on the show, give us a call here at 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE, the letter U, and the number 2, because we're scaring folks tonight. This is Chuck Browder's with me tonight. We usually host a political show.
Well, back to the Social Security. I am at the core when it comes to a number of issues aside from social politics. I'm fairly conservative when it comes to defense, smaller government, entitlements. I would not mind in the least being 32 years old right now if they were to just do away with Social Security.
Well, I mean, there's none left. No, here's the thing.
It's a flawed system.
I've had arguments with people before about Social Security. Some people think it's a welfare program. It is to a degree, but I don't believe the people that paid into it, they're just getting back what they paid in. And I feel that in that way it's not an entitlement. But for the people that just got paid in the beginning, I guess it probably.
Well, what about
was.
with the the adjustment for inflation, or but potentially the money has been mishandled.
Well, they just
it's paid
IOU
in,
it
it's
to
paid
death.
in year after year,
And they keep
it's
taking
paid
it.
out, and then the surplus is then allocated to other entitlements, to defense spending, and probably pocketed at some level or another. But yeah, if leftovers potentially were thrown into say some sort of money market account or reinvested like George Bush wanted to do with the privatization of Social Security, you potentially could have yielded something that would have been sustainable over a period of over 50 years.
Yeah, you're possibly right. Let me tell you where the next big move is going to come here from the left, and that is the homosexuals. I've talked about.
What do
this
you got to
before.
be afraid of the homosexuals?
I'm not
for,
afraid
Jay
of the
Scott?
homosexuals.
Why are you afraid?
I
of
said
the
I'm not.
homosexuals?
I'm not afraid of the homosexuals. But here's what's coming from the leftist homos. Pretty soon, you're going to see, and you've already seen it, that they're wanting this protected status. They're saying, well, I'm a homosexual, I should enjoy equal rights. And I say, you do enjoy equal rights. Like Neil Bort says, you can marry a woman if you're a gay man.
No, that's... that's a great semantic move right there, Jay Scott. But it doesn't hold any water.
No, I'm not done yet. Here's what they're going to want. They want it like this now. They want to introduce all this legislation that says, well, if you beat me up because I'm gay, then there should be some kind of sentencing enhancement there. You should go away longer because you did it. Because
I think you
gay.
should worry about them getting equal rights as far as
If you express your opinion that homosexuality is wrong, that's hate speech, and you should be put in jail or fined or something bad done to you. I'm sorry, you're talking a difference between if you're born black, you're black. If you're born a man or a woman, you're born a man or a woman. They're trying to say I'm born gay, and maybe that's the case, but until they find a gay gene out there, it seems to me like what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a behavior okay, and you're trying to make a behavior like something that you were born with, and that's just not the case. It's a behavior.
I think you have to worry about them getting equal rights as far as property and custody are concerned before you have to worry about any of those other stuff.
It's getting that way, though. And you see what the left has done in California, for example. The voters said, we don't want this. So they're saying, well, we shouldn't let the voters decide then. We'll go about this a different way. Now, had the voters said, yes, let's do it, then it would be hip, hip, hooray, we're gay, we're getting married, and you can't change that because this is what the voters want. This is the voice of the people.
It's inevitably going to be passed in California because they've already retroactively grandfathered in all the ones they've already done. They're still legit. They're still on the books. They're still recognizing them in California.
And here's the problem that I have with international health care. I'm going to get into that, too, real quick before we change gears.
International health care?
National health care, excuse me.
And be taxed
let them
as
marry.
much as the rest.
Sure, if they're going to allow them to be married, then they need to follow the provisions of alimony and everything else too.
You'd have more homosexuals going in for the $8,000 first time buyer credit. I can see all sorts of great revenue.
Photographers would make more money, right?
And homosexuals generally have a higher standard of living than the average person. No children. There's a lot of expendable income to be had there.
But going back to health care and homosexuality, a defined class of people who one could say participate in some of them, not all, but who participate in sexual activity, which, we know that AIDS is more rampant in the homosexual community than it is in the heterosexual community. You're going to be looking at spending healthcare money on people's behaviors. Not only will you be covering alcoholics who've damaged themselves.
Now you're starting to sound like Obama here with
No, I'm just saying.
Bev Perdue with
if you have a national health care and it's my responsibility to take care of everyone because of their behavior, then there's a problem. Then you can start saying, okay, you can't drink that alcohol because you're an alcoholic. You can't go to McDonald's and eat because you're too fat. You can't do this. You can't do that. It creates just a lot of problems. Why should we be responsible for someone else's health care? And someone else's behaviors.
The argument's been made time and time again. It's been decades. That's the notion behind taxing the hell out of alcohol and tobacco. Is that it's bad for you. The entitlement systems we have in place, the public hospitals have to pay for it. Sure. So in turn, we're going to get our revenue out of you while we can before it, so we can invest for your future.
Yeah.
Well, now
I mean, it was the same idea behind people in California wearing or motorcyclists wearing helmets. That we're not going to allow you to be insured, or we're not going to allow a number of these things. We're going to find the hell out of you, because if you fall off your bike and crack your head open, you're going to go to a public hospital with no insurance, and the state's going to be footing the bill.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same angle that Bev Perdue and Barack Obama are coming at with the cigarette tax, and according to Dee, the new alcohol one that's going to happen. So I mean, I guess maybe if they are going to do it, why not open it up for all vices?
Sure.
Prostitution, cocaine, the whole nine.
Well, I guess they could tax prostitution in Nevada proper, Well, they could. I mean, they got the Bunny Ranch out there, right?
Well, it's
legal. It's legal everywhere
in Las Vegas.
I was going to say it's legal It's legal. Prostitution is legal. Correct me if I'm wrong. In Nevada, everywhere, but inside the city limits of Las Vegas. Correct.
I think I'm not even sure if that's necessarily the case. I think there are maybe 3 counties that are out there, and they're in the middle of nowhere.
So you have to drive
most
for the
of
nookie.
these brothels that you keep hearing about, or you keep seeing on History Channel or HBO or wherever you're seeing them. They're generally bona fide double wide slapped together out in the middle of the desert.
Awesome.
From the ones that I've seen, yeah, and the ones I've seen are the ones that end up on these documentaries.
Yeah. So when you were out on your stay in Las Vegas last time, did you happen to hit the Bunny Ranch?
I never left. In fact, I don't even think I ever even left the casino, to be honest with you.
I hear you, man. Your secret.
They had
safe
a Benihana and a Star Trek,
oh, that's
exhibit.
Right. Your Star Trek freako picked up.
You had the room service and the casino floor, almost a Starbucks or whatever going on in there. I didn't have to leave.
Anyway, in response to an email we received earlier from Peter in Australia, I'll give Bill Sneblin a call and see if we can get him back on the show. Also, Terry Bain emailed me over the weekend. I need to get back up with her and see if she can come on and talk about her latest haunting book and see where we can go with that. Any suggestions, feel free to email us, worldoftheunexplained@gmail.com. Check us out online, worldoftheunexplained.com. And if you're interested in the show that Chuck and I do, which is on hiatus right now, I think it'll be returning sometime in June. Is that right?
With any luck, it will be.
That is thirdrailradio.com, where you hear from the far right, and that would be me, and then Chuck's end.
Yeah, the voice of reason.
Yeah, right. So, you can check that out at thirdrailradio.com. Check us out here, worldoftheunexplained.com. But it's been nice to have Chuck back in the studio. It's been a long time. He's been gone. He's we feel like he's just the redheaded stepchild that left and finally came back.
And you know how they treat those redheaded stepchildren.
That's the way we do it here. And but it's good to have him back, and hopefully we'll see Trent sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe when we get him back, maybe he'll have seen some of the summer blockbusters too. Man, we can throw down with some of the pros and cons of some of the screen adaptations here.
Well, I've been watching a lot of this channel. What's it called? iDiscovery or something like that. Is that it? Discovery. It's one of those higher numbered channels. It's like all they show is like 48 Hours, Hard Evidence. Dallas DNA is their new show. They also do.
So it's
like a true crimes channel, basically.
For lawyers and private detectives.
No, it's just a bunch of horrendous stuff that they, cold case files and things like that. And one of the shows I saw today, I was like, it was just really, really disturbing. It was based on a true deal too. But a lot of the stuff that's on there, I start thinking about, some of the scary stuff that we talk about normally, and then where you actually can see that true life is sometimes a lot scarier than any horror film or any kind of horror, thing that we talk about. I don't know.
No, I think that potentially real life can especially for I think younger generations can throw you for a loop because the stuff you see on television and cinema definitely doesn't hold a candle to. Horrors you can come across in real life. I'll just
give you an example. The one I saw today, it was really disturbing. 3 16-year-old kids go out. This happened in the 90s, I believe. 3 16-year-old kids go. No, this happened in 2005, so 4 years ago. 3 16-year-old kids go out Two of them are girls, one's a guy. The girls hate each other, both like the guy. They're in a car in a parking lot at like a Taco Bell or something. The girls get into a fight, and and I think the guy helps in some way. But apparently they kill this little 16-year-old girl. And then they sit there in the parking lot, smoke them a cigarette. It's in broad daylight. She's in the backseat of the car, and well, what are we going to do? Well, let's burn the body. So they take off down the road and get out in the woods, and they get some gasoline out, try to burn the body. It's not working for them like they think it's going to.
Because from what I've seen from all these detective shows, this is incredibly difficult to burn a body, especially with gasoline.
Well, anyway, they tried this. Apparently,
it's my understanding if you're going to do it, use Drano.
Really?
Yeah, in a bathtub.
Good tip, Chuck.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you didn't hear it here.
Anyway, they tried to burn the body. That didn't work out for them. So they bagged her up, threw her in the trunk, and decided that they had to think about this. They tried to bury her. The ground was too cold because it was like frozen. I guess that time
they should have used pigs, man. Starve the pigs like in Hannibal or Deadwood.
If I ever wind up missing, check out Chuck Browder. Don't let this man have
won't find his body. Don't
let this man hold a grudge against you. It's deadly. Well, anyway, so they tried that. That didn't work. So then they had this other friend that was like also 16 years old, I believe, at their high school, and they're he's into ghoulish, gruesome things. Maybe we could ask him if he would chop the body up for us because we just can't do that.
Did he do it for him?
Yeah. They call him up. They're like, hey, man, come on. We accidentally killed this girl. And
what city is this?
I don't
never, ever travel to.
I don't remember. I think it might have been in Minneapolis. I'm not sure.
But could be. Isn't that where Dahmer was from?
I don't know. Well, anyway, they this guy goes out in the woods and does all this mutilation and puts her in a bag and buries her out in this park. And then the one kid about a week later starts feeling bad about it and says, maybe I should tell the police.
Wait, which kid? The one who hacked him up?
The guy. No, not the guy that hacked him up.
The guy who did the deed.
Yeah, so the guy comes and he makes up a story basically sounding like he just, wasn't really much of a part of it, that they had a fight and that, his friend, she choked the other girl and they thought she had just passed out. They didn't realize she was dead. And at that point, then they didn't know what to do. So they tried to burn her and then, and he went through all that. And then he shows them where they hid the body and tells them about the guy that cut her up and all this stuff. And so at the end of the show, though, basically, I think he got like 30 years or something. She did too. And then the guy that cut the body up got like 5 years, I think. Yeah. But I mean, it just makes me wonder about the mentality of the children out there nowadays in high school. And, and it's just, I mean, I guess it's true what they say. It
honestly sounds like a psychotic break with reality. And
for all three involved.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess that just makes you wonder, and it makes you say, I mean, maybe the saying is true, a good friend will help you bury a body. Or I guess in this case, a good friend will help you chop one up. But, I mean, that's just terrible. It just sits in my mind, and I've been thinking about it all day because it's just the horrendous nature of something like that. And to think that there are people out there like this. And to be that young and to be like that, it even, makes it worse.
Well, you don't even have to be that young. Hell, you could be in law enforcement. There's that guy, Drew Peterson. I don't know what state he's from, but maybe it's Florida. Hadn't
he killed like 3 of his wives, they think?
He had the first one. I don't know. There's nothing.
There's mysterious circumstances surrounding
the second one that supposedly drowned in a bathtub that wasn't filled with water.
Yeah.
And then the third one, who's to my knowledge, never showed up. But his, I think, brother-in-law, or maybe it was a friend, I can't remember. I thought some sort of family relationship came over to help him move a blue barrel. I guess the night his wife went missing.
Oh my God!
And yeah, I guess it's now presumed that the wife was in the barrel, and he can't forgive himself for having been an accomplice now.
I didn't know anything about it though.
I don't know. But Drew Peterson, a law enforcement officer, and he's just a real piece of work. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips of him on.
I have. He's laughing
cable
about
news,
it.
But yeah, he acts like he's a pro with the media when he's doing these little press conferences or little photo ops.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's doing nothing but creating more and more, I guess, just evidence and stuff that can be shown in court eventually. Can be shown to jurors that shows him as a callous bastard.
Yeah, and he's going to pay for it. What is it? What's he doing for money? That's my question here. I'm hoping he's not still a law enforcement
He's
officer.
probably shopping around the screenplay or the autobiography. Simon and Schuster would probably jump on
getting
that.
up
What
with
do you
Ethan.
think?
Anyway.
That's just a black hole, my
Yeah,
friend.
I know it is. That's why I had to mention it, though. Sorry.
That's all right.
But speaking of films coming soon to a DVD player near you, the Sleepy Hollow documentary that we did.
It's going to be out.
Well, we're going to begin editing it soon. So I just want to let you guys know, if you want to know the real story behind Sleepy Hollow, that, my friend, will bring you in. And anyway, we will see you next week. You can always get us 24/7 online at worldoftheunexplained.com. There's archives and all kinds of wonderful fun stuff going all the way back to 2001, I believe. But anyway, I guess that's pretty much about all we've got for tonight. Chuck, so great having you in here tonight.
Oh, thank you. It's been pretty awesome getting to hang here.
That's cool, man. I appreciate it. You're listening to World of the Unexplained. This is Jay Scott. I'm not the only JD DJ anymore. Now they got Neil Bortz. But
because he's a lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, saying good night.
This is Chuck Browder dropping science at you at 64,000 kilobytes per second. Peace.